The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's Friday, and welcome to Coffee Time with Blind United. Of course, I'm Ed, and I got Carol with me today. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, everyone.
And then, as always, my brother Pedro.
Good evening, everybody. Nah, just playing. Good morning. Good morning. Thank God it's Friday.
That's right. That's right. So, anyway, we have one interest group for today, and that's our movie night, descriptive movie night. And tonight we'll be showing Waiting to Exhale with the cast of stars, Whitney Houston. Man, I can't remember everybody. I got them listed,
Hey,
but
yeah.
Loretta
So I have a
Devine.
question. So they're waiting to exhale, and it's been that long. Are they still alive?
yeah.
That's a joke,
Uh,
Ed. Ed is like, I don't got time for that.
well, I mean, again, I'm just,
Mhm.
playing, chick flicks, whatever. It's still the,
I'm not saying nothing about that, Ed.
recognizing Women's Month. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna do, like I said, we're gonna do Waiting to Exhale tonight. I think next week we'll probably do the Woman King. Uh,
Okay.
Okay.
Waiting to
and
exhale is a classic right there, man. Even guys watch them and stuff.
well, I mean, even Waiting to Exhale is, considered to be a classic. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, I
Mm-hmm.
just want to round out, ladies and serve
Why
the,
don't?
honor the women and what they do. So
Yeah.
join us tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time and get all your snacks and beverages together, whatever they may be, and come on, hang out and enjoy a good descriptive movie with us. So, so anyway, you enjoyed your birthday yesterday, Pedro?
Yeah, I enjoyed my birthday. We showed up at the Cheesecake Factory and stuff like that. It was like, what? How many people, babe? Like 20 to 25.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be joining you guys tomorrow for Monica's birthday. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be hanging out in the wood for that one. So, uh, but I know we're going to have fun hanging out and enjoying whatever Monica has prepared for us and just doing what we do as a blind community, right? So,
Now, what is the wood? Is that
Inglewood.
something? Oh, okay. I'm in Texas, so you. All right, got
You
you.
didn't see the movie called The Wood?
I probably did, Ed, and I just don't remember. I've seen so many.
Okay, yeah, they did a movie with what's that kid, the guy from The Best Man? Oh man, I can't think of his name, but it's
Morris
him.
Chestnut?
Well, Morris Chestnut's not in that. No, the Tyrell Diggs or whatever.
Oh, Ty Diggs. Okay.
No, Tyrone Diggs, whatever it is, from Best Man Holiday.
Okay. Okay.
Him, and then there's a few other people in there, so it's really, really a good movie. You know,
Okay.
it's just about a guy that came from North Carolina and his mama moved to Inglewood, California, and that's where he met his road dogs, and they grew up in Inglewood, and
Okay.
stuff like that. It's really a good movie, but they go from junior high school all the way through, being professionals. Oh, what was it? Cuba Gooding, not Cuba Gooding, Omar Epps. He's in that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that was a good movie as well. But anyway, no, it's like I said, it's we just doing what we do. So, Inglewood is just a local term. So,
Gotcha.
you know,
Inglewood up to no good.
that part of it. In the hood, we just call it the wood. Where you going, man? I'm headed to the wood.
Gotcha.
Some kind of thing.
Is that Lakewood or Inglewood?
Yeah, well, those that know is we
Oh,
going to
he's
Inglewood. Yeah, Lakewood wasn't necessarily our part of town. Inglewood was. You know what I'm saying?
all
So
LA was my background, my playground.
well, I mean, I was all over LA as well. I mean, I've lived Compton, Watts, Inglewood, the Jungle. Whatever. East Side, West Side. It didn't matter to me either. So, but anyway, yeah, no, it's we're gonna hang out and have fun with Monica and celebrate her birthday and all that kind of good stuff. So, but so anyway, I guess we can jump into these articles. I learned some in this article. Well, let's play it and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Today on Coffee Time, Earth's inner core may be reversing its rotation. What does that mean for us? Most of us think of the Earth as a big spinning ball, solid, constant, and predictable. But deep beneath the surface, something extraordinary is happening. Recent studies reveal that the Earth's inner core, a dense, solid sphere of iron and nickel about the size of the moon, might be reversing its direction of rotation. And while we can't feel it, this hidden movement could have far-reaching effects on our planet. What's going on beneath our feet? In 2023, researchers Yi Yang and Xiaodong Song made headlines with a groundbreaking study. They analyzed seismic wave data from earthquakes over the past 60 years and found something surprising. The Earth's inner core doesn't spin at a steady rate. Instead, it oscillates, changing direction roughly every 35 years, in a cycle that repeats every 70 years. Their research suggests the last time this inner core rotation reversed was in the early 1970s. According to their calculations, it's happening again right now. This isn't just a minor twitch in the Earth's mechanics. Around 2009, scientists observed a marked slowdown in the core's rotation. It stopped spinning faster than the Earth's surface, a phenomenon known as superrotation, and began to sync more closely with the crust and mantle. That shift appears to signal the start of a new rotational phase. Why does it matter? You might be thinking, okay, the inner core is changing direction, but how does that affect me? Great question. Here are two big ways this deep Earth drama could ripple outward. Changes in the length of day. The inner core's motion affects how mass is distributed within the Earth, which in turn can influence the planet's rotation speed. These tiny fluctuations could add or subtract milliseconds from the length of our days over time. It may not sound like much, but over decades, it becomes significant, especially for scientists tracking time, satellites, and GPS systems. Impact on the magnetic field. Earth's magnetic field is generated by the motion of molten metals in the outer core surrounding the solid inner core. If the inner core's rotation changes, it could subtly alter the behavior of the magnetic field, potentially affecting everything from animal migration to satellite electronics. What scientists are still debating. As fascinating as this sounds, not everyone in the scientific community is fully convinced. While the seismic data paints a compelling picture, researchers say more information is needed. The inner core lies more than 3,000 miles below the surface, far beyond the reach of direct observation, so our understanding relies heavily on indirect measurements and modeling. Still, this discovery opens up exciting new avenues for understanding how Earth works, especially its most mysterious and inaccessible regions. A planet in motion. Earth is not a static sphere. It's a living, dynamic planet with shifting tectonic plates, flowing magma, and now, it seems, a ticking rotational rhythm at its very center. So the next time you feel the ground beneath your feet, remember, somewhere far below, The inner engine of our world is quietly reversing course, subtly changing the length of our days and helping shape the magnetic field that protects us from solar radiation. It's one more reminder that we live on a planet full of hidden wonders, many of which we're only beginning to understand. What do you think? Does it surprise you that Earth's inner core changes direction? How do you feel knowing that our planet's deep interior could be subtly influencing our everyday lives? Join the conversation and share your thoughts. Now, back to the coffee time crew for their thoughts.
So, what I learned in this is maybe I should have paid a lot more attention back when I was in grade school, but I didn't realize we had an inner core and an outer core. You know what I'm saying? I thought the whole thing was, just one core that was all molten lava,
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth. But then science, okay, how do we have a solid inner core that's surrounded by molten core without melting the inner core? That's, again, that's, I
Um,
don't know. It's just crazy stuff, right?
yes, yes. And they just recently, probably not during your school days, they updated some of that. But yes, it's the center core is more of a metal. I don't know if it's nickel or what, but it's
Well,
some
they
type
said
of
iron
heavy
and
metal.
nickel.
Yeah, so it's like a type of heavy metal. So the molten lava is not like lava, but it's more of a kind of like a solid also, but not super dense like the center core would be. Just the outer core is more fluently, but they spin sometimes differently. But a
Well, molten says molten means it's melted. So I mean, it's more of a, again,
liquefied.
yeah, it's more liquefied than the inner core.
Mm-hmm.
So and then that's also where we get that thermal thing. If you drill down far enough, and now I think about it,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the inner core is 3,000 miles down. Wow, so how
Yes.
far down before you get to the molten part where
Mm-hmm.
you can now start using that thermal energy,
Well,
for different
rem-
things,
you you remember the article about the Bitcoin city? And that's what they were trying to do on the volcano is tap into the thermal heat.
Well, and there
Um,
was also that one that we did where they, by accident, had tapped into a thermal fissure, and they were
Right,
mm,
actually
right.
using that thermal power to generate electricity for that
Electricity.
village.
Mm-hmm.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Like
yeah.
white something. It
yeah,
was called
yeah,
white
yeah,
something. I can't remember what it
yeah.
was.
A-
White nitrogen or something like that.
Yes,
and the
yes.
effects of the core spinning different directions and stuff like with the magnetic sphere, yeah, it could mess with our electronics, because like GPS, satellites beaming down data, because satellites have to be programmed in a way because of the time dilation effect that happens. So when the further you are, like let's say you're up there where the satellite's at, time runs you know, uh, slightly faster. So they have to adjust these satellites, and you know, even with
Right.
GPS, imagine the GPS goes out, and it's gonna have a lot of damaging effects too.
Well, yeah, because we
Also,
got people in today's world that can't go around the corner without using their GPS. I mean,
oh yeah, well,
I
it's
mean, to
just
me, that's
not
just
people.
silly.
That's part of it. That's got to be more of a bigger. People are gonna be really like confused, and it's gonna be a little paranoia and all that. But even government systems and even weapon systems that utilize these in the battlefield and stuff that are utilizing real time and stuff, it,
Uh,
it can have their drastic effects. They might have to when it comes to time, they're using these new type of timekeeping methods. What they call them? It's not done by a qubit, but it's they tell time real specific. They do it in space. They take these type of watches and stuff. But and also it can affect us and leave us vulnerable and open to a corona mass ejection from the sun. If we get hit by a solar wind, that can really damage everything and fry circuitry and stuff like that. If our magnetic sphere is kind of weakened, or it changes the strength of it or something like that due to the core.
Well, and
And
I'm just guessing because they're stating that that every 70 years, you know what I'm saying, is doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my point being is, again, we've had this type of technology and stuff like that, for definitely much longer than 70 years. The threat of, the effects of the sun and so on and so forth, that's always been around, right? But evidently, whatever, I would just say that our magnetic field or whatever it is that we're talking about to protect us from the sun, it may get weaker at certain points, but it's
Yeah.
not
Yes.
weak enough to where we have to deal with that them sun being, them sunbursts or whatever they are they call
Yeah. And there
them.
was a one like that in the 1800s. We didn't really have too much technology. We had the little those machines that you clip. You know that
sundials.
no, the SOS machines that you do the SOS with the dots in the line.
It's a telegraph.
Yeah, the telegraphs and other stuff. So when this happened, even when they disconnect those things, they were still firing up. You know what I mean? And stuff due to that. So we didn't have the technology we have now, but it did cause a little damage. Um,
Uh,
they said it created like an aurora around the world almost. It was seen almost around the world. Um, so we haven't had it in modern like technology times. But another thing that I keep hearing too, they think that the poles might move up to, I don't know if it's 20 to 40%, like degrees,
right,
and that
the
could
angle
cause.
of the angle of the Earth, the north,
Hmm.
the north and solar polar
Yeah, a
points.
pole shift
You
is
know,
what they call it.
right, but they said that that has happened throughout the history of the planet as well.
Yes, it has.
So it's not that it's something new. It's new to
Mhm.
us because they're now noticing this, right? But science, again, that's the beauty of science, right? They can
Right.
track it and they say, okay, well, no, this is not the first time it's done it. It's basically the
Yes.
Earth is adjusting itself to the new magnetic points. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
that's
Right.
Yeah.
basically what's going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
read
it's
a lot
great to
about
know
that.
that. It's great to know that also that whether we want to call it Mother Nature or whatever, but
Hmm.
bottom line, the planet is being a living thing
Hmm.
is actually adjusting to what's going on in today's world. In today's
Hmm.
times. So
Yeah.
And I can
uh,
remember a movie. It was called The Core. I can't remember the premise of
Mm.
why these scientists had to go down,
And
to
vomit
the
or
bottom
something
of the
like
earth.
that.
Well, yeah,
But
well,
it was
anyway,
something that was happening.
well, it's funny you say that because I do remember that movie as well, and it was
Yes,
because of this very topic. They were
something like
noticing
like
that
this.
something was changing direction down there, and they wanted to go down there and create the explosion to
Hmm.
basically do away with, let's just call it the turbulence,
Yeah.
Yes.
and send everything back the way the way they thought it should be going.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
also, with the solar flares and all that, like scientists been studying like the history. And they think the last time we had like a polar shift and stuff was what, like 12,000 years ago. And when you have these trees that live for hundreds and thousands of years, when you cut them, scientists have figured out how to look at these inner rings, and they could tell you like what kind of happened in certain periods. And they found out like volcano, when the volcanoes erupt around certain areas, they leave little rings of markings. And there's a science on that type of field, and they could provide certain accuracies of history beyond the 1800s, even down to hundreds
Right,
and hundreds of years ago. And it's a field, and the way they do it is, man, scientists, they got techniques, guys. Our scientists nowadays, they could get a lot of information.
Yeah, they did a thing. That movie Down in the Delta. There was a part in the movie where there was this these silver candle opera kind of things, candlestick holders. Then that during the emancipation, they went up in the plantation home and they stole these candlestick holders because the father had been sold and the slave owner was paid with these candleoperas, right? So
Hmm.
anyway, the children of the slave that got sold, they sold them or they stole them, right? And
Right.
they had buried him under this tree, right? So, but anyway, so that tree got cut down. But what they did is they had the stump was still there, and they actually had their family history was marked out in the rings of that tree. You know, the basic same rings Pedro's talking about. So, I mean, again, this is nature has its way of doing things. So,
Yeah,
anyway,
but that might be a little putting it way into there. I don't know how specific how's the movie, but down to get details. That's, I don't know how that kind of works with that. What movie? You need to tell me that movie later on. But yeah, that type of science is it's cool that they're able to that nature provides and keeps records like within itself, like the plants. Y'all knew too when y'all cut your grass or cut plants that they scream also.
yeah,
It's been
Yeah.
reported
They're
too.
living. They're living.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
yeah. So, but all right. Well, anyway, let's get into these promos, and then we can move on to the next article.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Hustlin' jingles, $10 a shots. Birthday beats and holiday knocks. Gotcha covered for the ones you love. Personalized joy like a custom glove. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. Got a catchy tune for your babe. Poppin' beats like dreams we crave. For Mama's Day or Papa's cheer, let's make smiles from ear to ear. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford.
Well, you need to create a birthday jingle for Monica tonight, Pedro.
Ed, you just gave it away. If I would have done one, she's listening.
Uh-oh.
I
And
just
if
messing with you,
anyone
babe.
else wants one, it's info@blindunited.org.
Okay,
Personalized jingle. It's like a
personalized.
fitted glove.
Right, a birthday, whatever, graduation, job promotion, good report
Mm-hmm.
card, whatever. Okay, we got it
A
for you,
goal
customized.
accomplished.
We can do it
Mm-hmm.
whatever way you want it for whatever occasion. So get at us and get that hooked up for someone that you care about. So anyway, God first says good morning to everybody.
Good
Uh, uh,
morning.
Good
so
morning.
this next one, I'm damn, I done lost my train of thought. What's the title on this one, Pedro? I'm sorry.
Let me see. Playground surprise over 170 World War bomb practices or something like that.
Okay, so
We hear it on the
recently,
other side, if you like.
yeah, bro. So again, it just shows that I just want to point out here. This is something that I believe is important this is where, regulations and all this kind of stuff, they come into play as far as our safety and stuff concerned. We've had articles where we've talked about different things that are buried up underneath homes, buried underneath schools and stuff here, right? So guess what they found in England? We'll play this and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Today on Coffee Time, Playground Surprise, over 170 World War II practice bombs found beneath a UK park. Imagine taking your kids to a neighborhood playground, only to later discover it was built over a buried World War II training ground. That's exactly what happened in Wooler, Northumberland, England, where a peaceful corner of Scott's Park turned out to be sitting atop a hidden piece of wartime history. What was discovered? In January 2025, construction workers began digging at Scott's Park to expand a children's play area. But on January 14th, what started as a routine project took a dramatic turn. Workers uncovered a suspicious object buried beneath the surface. Upon inspection, it was identified as a World War II-era practice bomb, and that was just the beginning. Following the discovery, authorities brought in brimstone site investigations to conduct a thorough survey. Incredibly, 65 practice bombs were recovered on the very first day. By the next day, the count had risen to 90 more, and when the dust settled, a staggering 176 practice bombs had been unearthed from beneath the playground. Why were the bombs there? Historical research suggests that the site once served as a home guard training ground during World War II. These practice bombs, each weighing about 10 pounds, were likely used for training exercises and then buried at the end of the war, possibly around 1945. Over the decades, the site was repurposed and eventually transformed into a community park, completely unaware of the wartime remnants lying just below the surface. Were these bombs dangerous? Although these were practice bombs, they were no harmless relics. Authorities reported that the devices still contained charges and many had intact fuses, making them potentially hazardous. Specialist contractors were immediately called in to safely remove and dispose of the ordnance. Local councillor Mark Mather commented on the surreal nature of the situation, emphasizing both the danger and the challenges faced in protecting the community, especially children who had been unknowingly playing above these buried bombs for years. How has the community responded? The discovery has understandably raised concerns among residents. While no one was harmed, the idea that explosives were hiding just inches beneath a children's playground has shaken local trust and prompted a reevaluation of safety in redevelopment projects involving historic land. As a precaution, the playground expansion project has been put on hold. Further excavation and safety assessments are underway to ensure that all remaining ordnance is found and removed. The bigger picture, WWII's lingering legacy. This isn't the first time unexploded ordnance, UXO, from World War II has surfaced in the UK, and it likely won't be the last. Across Europe, remnants of the war continue to emerge, from buried bombs to long-forgotten bunkers. In places with deep historical ties to World War II, even the most tranquil park might have a hidden story beneath its soil. This case in Wooler serves as a striking reminder that history is never too far behind, and sometimes it's right beneath our feet. What do you think? Were you surprised to learn that hundreds of World War II practice bombs were discovered beneath a modern-day playground? Should cities do more historical surveying before building on land with wartime history? How can communities balance development with safety and historical awareness? Join the conversation and share your thoughts. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
So, I mean, because of, the articles we've done in the past about, oil wells being basically kind of capped off and not securely capped, right? But being buried under people's homes, being buried under, schools and stuff like that, no, I'm not surprised. But again, I say, why did you bury live bombs? I mean, it just, to me, that's dumbfounding, I mean, these bombs could go off at any time. Imagine, here in California, right? We got earthquakes and whatnot. Imagine, was it 176 bombs underneath a playground, a school, a home out here? We have earthquake, and now we got a big old explosion, right? So, I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense to bury bombs. I mean, bottom line, deactivate them. You know what I'm saying? Before and dispose of them properly, right? Just like here with the oil wells and stuff. Again, here in America, it was more, the corporate America and not wanting to spend that money that it would cost to properly seal off that oil well. But again, because they didn't, we've got gases now coming up underneath of people's homes. Gas is coming up underneath people's schools and stuff like that, right? So this is why, so back in the beginning, what I said, this is where guidelines and regulations and and all this kind of stuff come into play as far as for the public safety, and we really need that aspect. Not this is evident not only here in America, but basically around the planet because people are going to get away with what you let them get away with, and it's not cool. It's really not cool. I mean, those things could have went off and killed up a whole bunch of kids in that park, and that's a
Yeah.
sad, sad thing.
Yes, and you're right. It is around the world, even like in I think it's called the Golan Field over there in Korea and North Korea, South Korea and North Korea, the little strip of land where they have all these landmines, and they just it's dangerous to pass there because so many war things right there. Even in the United States, there were reports of uh, a lost, guess a bomb or something like that. I don't know if it was a nuclear weapon somewhere out here in the West Coast, in
Well,
the
they,
ocean.
they had them. They have lost them in the ocean, but they found them.
Okay.
They went down there and got them But again, they were right there, in that gap of going into international waters. So you
Hmm.
also had, our adversaries were also looking for those ordinances, those nuclear weapons. So
Yes.
we had to go down and get them, and
Yeah.
to make sure that they didn't fall into the wrong hands.
Yeah, and sometimes these catastrophes give you like scenes, like meaning like there was a ship out here, an army ship that ended up hitting crashing into like a rock, but a tank fell, but ended it in a patch of sand, secluded, but it's surrounded by rocks, but it's now a hiking path, and you could hike through these rocks and stuff, and go to take a picture with the tank or whatever, but it's there, like it's stuck there. It's like you won't be able to take it. It's surrounded by ocean, surrounded by rocks,
Yeah.
you know. So sometimes these mistakes can be real dangerous, and other times they provide like scenes in nature and stuff.
Well, I mean, again, being that it was a tanker, as long as they've gotten all of the, the harmful, so it's not creating an
No, I mean
environmental.
a tank, but the armor ship they got all that stuff. But I mean, this tank is just stuck right there in that little patch
Well, I
of
mean,
sand.
and we had what was it, the Juan Valdez or whatever it was, the Arco thing that up in Alaska, it ran in and hit a rock, and now we had
Oh
a big old
no.
oil spill up there. I mean, so it's not like this stuff hasn't happened before, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I seen a thing, I forget what I was on YouTube. I was catching it like the Columbia River that comes out up around Oregon and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually an internal waterway, where it actually goes all the way into the Midwest. So they use it as a shipping route. Well,
Mm.
where the river comes out into the Pacific Ocean, they
Mm-hmm.
were having problems where they kept creating these sandbars, to where ships were running aground,
Mm.
and they were getting stuck right there, So
Mm.
they just spent so many billions of dollars going and putting in these like water walls, to
Mm-hmm.
try to slow down the current where all of this. So anyway, now they keep that open, and their shipping lane is now a lot safer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, I know we moved from the last story, but do you if the core spins the other way, I know it's gonna affect the ocean currents, and we have a popular current, that causes like the El Nino. It goes down the Pacific, and then it comes up the East Coast with the warm water and all that, heading towards England from the East Coast of the United States. With a core shift, that can probably get affected. It could maybe go in reverse. Some of these tides can the core could affect these tides of the ocean, right?
Well, I mean, again, and I'll go here. Speaking on that same level, like I said, they realize it now that this is something that's been going on every 70 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, maybe the current may slow down, maybe it may pick up, but I don't
Mm.
think that the current ever changes direction.
Well, we have
Mm.
multiple currents, but yeah,
Right,
that's
but
one of the El Nino
well, like
current.
an example, I mean, here in
Mm-hmm.
California, when you get in the water, a lot of times you go north, right? If you out there playing in the water and you come out of the water and damn, where my people at? And then you got to
Mm-hmm.
start searching the beach and they back down this way, so you had to walk back down south, right? Where when I was in the water in Daytona Beach, right? Number one, the water was a lot warmer, right? But that current was moving south. So I went in the water, and when I came out of the water, thank God my grandson, knowing that I'm blind, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's following me along the beach. And then when I came out of the water, he said, I'm right here, Grandpa. So I went to him, and then, man, we had to walk back north to get to where we were set up on the beach. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes I like to go deep. You know what I mean? And sometimes, I have my kids with me. One of my boys be like, "Oh, we gotta go back this way," and he'd be telling me when you come out, you just go up a little bit. Every time you get in deep, just when you get out the wave, just go up a little bit, so like that you won't get all the way gone.
right. Because every time
Because
your feet lose contact with the bottom of the, of the,
mm-hmm,
you're now in the current, and it can move
mm-hmm,
you depending on
mm-hmm,
how strong the current is. So
mm-hmm.
And you have to think of the marine life as well. I mean, if it reverses itself, the fish are going to be confused because they migrate to warmer water in certain climates, to colder water.
Mm-hmm.
right,
They're
right.
always
Yeah,
swimming,
but
so that's going to
mhm.
turn everything around.
Yeah, they were talking about animals, but I think animals, they most likely have seen this and got used to this. And I mean, because scientists are thinking that now the parents pass on certain information through genes. That's why sometimes animals start walking, start learning, like they start doing things. They know what they need to eat or go hunt and stuff like that. Well, what is like their task in nature and stuff like that, you know?
Right. But
Right.
again, as the article stated, I mean, I keep trying to, I'm not trying to keep hammering on this point, but
Hmm.
this is something that has been happening throughout time. So
Hmm.
therefore, it may speed up or slow down the rotation, but it never actually changes the direction of the
The
planet.
direction.
The
Yeah,
inner
yeah, yeah.
core might be changing, which is causing it to speed up or slow down the rotation, but the rotation never changes direction.
Of course, yes.
Gotcha.
You
But
know,
like you were
so
Hmm.
saying about the present article, do you now you know how surveyors when they're getting ready to say look over land to decide, okay, this is a good place to build. Do you think that they have like blueprints of what actually the history of what's actually underneath the ground before they actually start laying concrete and building foundation for a building? You think they
well, I
know?
mean,
Oh,
they do when it comes to when they started keeping records. Now, whatever happened before they started keeping records, we don't know about. But like this thing with the oil wells, okay, it didn't have to be. With this thing with these bombs, it didn't have to be because that's
right,
documented history. So
right,
therefore, they should have done their due diligence, and before they, okay, well, we're getting ready to build a playground here. Well, hold on, wait a minute. Let's go back and make sure that this land is safe. I mean, just like when they
Yeah.
putting in these
Well,
trains and stuff, right?
Right.
Like they want to hear, they want to put in these bullet trains and stuff. So you got all of these environmental things that you have to go through, and part of that is looking at the planet and seeing what happened there before.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and they have technology to like ground penetrating radar,
Yeah,
but it can get expensive. Let's say a company's trying to build something, a small one, it can be daunting. The government might just be like, "We're building this. What's the records here?" But yeah,
but when it
ground
comes
penetrating.
to public safety, I give a damn what it costs. I'm
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
sorry.
know, but I'm
you're
just
right.
saying how they work, and but
Right,
this
right, but
ground penetrating radar is a great tool. They use it to find oil wells and stuff like that
they
too.
use it to find oil. They use it to
Hmm.
find water. They use it to find, gold and
Fracking for
silver.
gas. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
use it for anything that's going to create a profit,
Hmm.
right? But
Hmm.
they don't want to
That's the
use it
problem.
for anything that's going to create safety.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's the
that's
issue.
that's an
So,
issue. Yeah, that's
uh,
a big
It really
issue.
is.
But
so
even with this technology, they're mapping the Amazon forest over there, the one they're cutting off. But yeah, it is about that time. But this new technology like LiDAR, ground penetration radar can be used on our society, even for safety, like Ed said. But sometimes, things are motivated by money.
Because,
right.
And
well,
So,
because like what you all are saying, everything now they're trying to build more space above ground, so they're building more things underground. The trains or things like that. But how safe are we underground if they're cutting corners trying to save money,
right, right. So
and then something collapses?
it happens. It definitely happens. So, all right. Well, let's jump into this next promo so we can get to the next item. Like, I'm going to get these comments. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray-Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
Do you need to talk? Are you struggling with your mental health? Are you struggling with substance abuse issues? Call the Orange County NAMI Warm Line. That number is 877-910-9276. That number again is 877-910-9276.
All right. Well, let me get to these comments right quick. First off, Tisha says she appreciates coffee time with Blind United. Then she also said that Pedro definitely needs to do a jingle for Monica. And then God First says, wait a minute, somebody, how do you just lose a bomb? Yeah, yeah. How can you just lose or misplace a weapon like a bomb, right? And then George says, oh, okay, he talking about the cartel uses the Rio Grande as their shipping route.
George.
Okay, George is something else. So
the
anyway,
coyotes also use it, George. The coyotes.
let me get into this last one. I didn't forgot again, Pedro. Give me the title. I'm good of it on the title.
How to protect your skin on cold
Oh
weather.
yeah,
In cold
yeah. I
weather.
mean, being that it's that time of the year. People have a lot of dry skin and stuff like that this time of the year, and so we're going to play the article. It kind of explains why that transpires.
Today on Coffee Time, beating winter's dry spell, how to protect your skin in cold weather. As the temperature drops and the air turns crisp, many of us find ourselves dealing with more than just icy sidewalks and chilly winds. Winter also brings a host of skin woes, flaky scalps, peeling faces, and hands so dry they crack and bleed. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Let's explore what causes winter skin issues and, more importantly, what you can do to keep your skin soft, hydrated, and happy during the coldest months of the year. Why winter wreaks havoc on your skin? The root of the problem? Dry air. When winter rolls in, the air outside holds far less moisture than it does in warmer seasons. Add indoor heating to the mix, and you've got a recipe for skin dehydration. Here's a breakdown of the main culprits. Low humidity. Cold outdoor air lacks moisture, and when we bring that air inside, it dries out even more. Your skin, which relies on ambient moisture to stay supple, begins to feel tight, flaky, and irritated. Indoor heating. Furnaces and space heaters may keep us warm, but they also zap the last bits of humidity from the air, accelerating moisture loss from our skin. Hot showers and harsh soaps. That long, steamy shower may feel amazing after a day in the cold, but it's one of the fastest ways to strip your skin of its natural protective oils. The same goes for drying soaps and cleansers, which can worsen skin irritation. The most common winter skin conditions. Here are a few familiar issues that pop up as soon as winter sets in. Dry, flaky scalp. Often mistaken for dandruff, a dry scalp is typically caused by lack of moisture rather than an overgrowth of yeast. The fix? Gentle, hydrating shampoos and conditioners that soothe the skin without stripping it. Facial peeling. Because our faces are constantly exposed to the elements, they're often the first to suffer. Wind, cold air, and indoor heat combine to create red, irritated, and peeling skin. Cracked hands. Between frequent washing, sanitizer use, and exposure to cold, our hands take a beating. The skin becomes rough, cracked, and at its worst, can even bleed. Winter Skin Survival Guide. Simple prevention tips. The good news? A few easy tweaks to your routine can help keep your skin soft and strong all season long. Moisturize often and wisely. Look for fragrance-free and dye-free moisturizers. Apply them immediately after washing to lock in hydration. Thick creams and ointments work better than lotions during the winter months. Add a humidifier to your space. Combat dry indoor air by adding moisture back into your environment. A humidifier in your bedroom or living area can make a noticeable difference in your skin's hydration levels. Dial down the heat. Trade hot showers for lukewarm water and limit your time in the tub to preserve your skin's natural oils. Choose gentle cleansers. Skip the harsh soaps and reach for mild, moisturizing cleansers that clean without causing irritation. Protect your skin outside. Don't forget your gloves, scarves, and lip balm when heading out. Keeping skin covered shields it from cold air and windburn. Why it matters. Healthy skin isn't just about looking good. It's your body's first line of defense against the elements. Cracked, dry skin can be painful, prone to infection, and uncomfortable. By taking a few proactive steps, you can avoid the winter blues that come with flaky, irritated skin. What do you think? Have you experienced the dreaded winter skin slump? What's your go-to remedy for dry hands or a flaky scalp? Do you think we underestimate the impact of indoor heating on our skin health? Join the conversation and share your thoughts. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
I mean, myself personally, I never realized that this phenomenon existed. Myself, I don't do a lot of lotions and stuff like that, but I do remember my wife, man, where every time she got out of the shower tub, whatever it was, she just came in the room and she stood there and, I don't know, just pump, and spread, pump, spread. I mean, she was constantly putting lotion and moisturizer and so on and so forth on. And she never dealt with dry skin like that, but I mean, it makes sense. If you're dealing with some of this stuff, some people have, myself, my skin is actually oily naturally. So it doesn't take but a minute for my skin to regenerate the oil and stuff in it. I guess to keep my skin moisturized. I don't really get a lot of dry skin that way, but for those that do, I mean, now you know. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, take a lukewarm shower instead of hot shower. I don't know how to do that part. I love my hot showers, but again, and then moisturize. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do to keep your skin straight, because like I said, it is the first line of defense from other things. And when you get dry, cracky skin where, now there's a crack in that barrier to where infection can set in. So take care of your skin and it'll take care of you.
Yeah, some people do get really dry skin. And there, I do get dry skin. Finding like a lotion or a moisturizer that can work sometimes is hard. Sometimes they have these titles like deep moisturizer and all this other stuff. You know, and sometimes my skin still be dry. Also with um, they be having oh my, I'm blanking on the thing. These lotions with alcohol, man. Sometimes those dry you up more too, and
Yeah, because
so
alcohol is actually stripping your skin of the nutrients it
hmm
needs.
It is. It is. I mean, I have combination skin, so like you, Ed, my face is naturally oily. My body is naturally oily, but my lips and my hands dry. So I do the old school like my mother used to use, Vaseline. It works for me. Everybody says, "Hey, it's gonna, keep your hands and your lips from breathing." But if it works for me and I have no problem at 60 years old now, I keep using it. It's cheap, and it works.
Well, on that note with the Vaseline, Carol, I learned a trick a while back for those that may have, a lot of, dry, rough skin, calluses, whatever on your feet.
Hmm.
It sounds crazy, right? But lather your feet up with Vaseline at night and tie some grocery bags on your feet.
Hmm.
When you wake up in the morning, that skin will be so moist that you can almost scrape the dead skin off.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and now you could have nice, soft, pretty feet again.
I get dry
Wow.
in my face. My body is fine. It's just like my face.
Right.
Okay.
Well, again, I mean, my face is the oiliest part of my body,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
So, I mean, again, I don't really have that problem. I don't really get chapped lips and stuff like that. So I've never really used chapstick and stuff like that. So, but again, in the wintertime is when all of this stuff really is how can we say exasperated, right? It just intensifies. So you definitely really got to take care of your skin in the wintertime. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
and that's
Right.
yeah, and the article is right about the lukewarm showers and stuff because the hotter the water is, your scalp, your skin, my facial skin gets super dry. And I use different techniques. I got some lotions. Sometimes I have this one oil that I dab in my fingers and run it through some parts of my face. But I like to put too much oil. Like, this one is mostly it's a hair oil, but it does its job. Recently, when we went to the convention, I used like their body wash. I couldn't grab my body wash, and whatever soap I grabbed that they had on the wall, man, it dried my skin out. That it was like skin was literally
okay, so now
cracking and stuff.
let me go here with you, Pedro,
Mm,
because remember we were sharing a room, right?
mm.
How did you know which of them three bottles was body wash?
I didn't. I took a chance, Ed. I was already in the shower, and
So
I
right,
couldn't find
so
my
you
body
could have
wash that I
you
brought.
could have been washing your body with shampoo.
Lotion.
Could have, yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. I understand that part. I know that part. It's just like a blind thing. Sometimes you're already in the situation, so I thought my shampoos and my body stuff was there, but it wasn't. But it took me 2 3 days. I mean, like my lips, my behind my ear, even the skin was starting to pop out, and like it looked like it was gonna like break in and fall out like dry skin. But I
Right.
ended up putting this oil that my mom sells and stuff. That it's made out of avocados oil, and I
Right.
dabbed it,
Mm.
and man, it replenished my skin pretty quick. Like it took 2 days to replenish, but all that dryness is kind of
Another one
gone.
is another good lotions are lotions with vitamin E and lotions
Mm-hmm.
with aloe vera.
Yeah, yeah. My
True.
better half tells
That's
me about
true.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, those are really, really good lotions that help, rejuvenate your skin. And the vitamin E will actually bring elasticity back to your skin.
Mm.
My wife used that. I mean, she had 3 pregnancies, 4 babies. Every year for 3 years, and so ladies they develop that pouch kind of thing in their belly, and it's from being stressed out. It's a lot of women, they don't like it. Again, they can't wear the little belly shirts no more and show off their belly and all that kind of stuff. But again, using that the vitamin E as well as the aloe vera and stuff like that, my wife's skin went right on back to normal.
Oh wow.
You
But I'm
know,
I'm like Ed, Pedro. I can't do a lukewarm shower. I'm sorry. You can have it. I need a hot one.
and I don't use body washes and stuff. I still use bar soap. I use a deodorant soap, and my thing is this: I want my skin to be clean. I'm not saying the body wash doesn't clean your skin, but I'm just because I'm so oily, I want to get rid of it because I know my body is going to regenerate that oil almost immediately. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's just the way I get down. But everybody's got their thing. All the ladies got their routines and stuff. And especially folks of color. They definitely use a lot of lotions and stuff like that. To prevent ashiness and stuff like that, which is nothing more than dry skin. You
Right.
know, but it covers it up. To where you don't have that white haze over the top of your skin, right?
Right.
Us Caucasians, we don't necessarily have that problem. I mean, we might get ashy, but you won't be able to see it. How about that part?
Right. Right.
So, but again, if your skin is oily, you know what I'm saying, then you're a little bit more protected. If your skin is more dry, you may have to use these moisturizers and stuff like that. But again, I didn't realize that the colder winter weather, just intensifies what's going on with your skin. So like you say, you might have to change your routine up a little bit in the wintertime. So but crazy stuff, right?
But
You
good
know,
information. I
Yeah.
just noticed that my skin gets a little tight when it's cold. So I know, hey, I need to put something on because I can't see when it's ashy. But Vaseline works well for me,
Oh yeah. I
And
always have
Carmex
to.
on my lips. I use Carmex. That lip
Yeah.
chap, though, chapstick does not do anything for me. Carmex all the way.
They make it in a chapstick form too now.
Oh, do
Um,
they? Okay.
yeah, and yeah. So yeah, different weather affects your skin differently. For myself, I always have to put lotion. I don't want to be ashy, you know, and stuff like that. But I guess Ed doesn't have that problem because of his skin complexion.
He's oily.
He's oily. He got that oil. So Ed, one question: when you were a teenager, did you have a lot of acne?
uh, I did because of the oily skin, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
But back in the day, what we had was Stridex, those little pads, which
Oh,
I
was
remember
basically
those.
I used to have
nothing
those.
but alcohol. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you just wiping all the oil off your skin. So
Oh no,
Tisha,
then. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Continue.
Tisha agrees with us about the dry skin and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Um.
so
So yeah. So I didn't know they had some oil pads. I mean, some alcohol type thing like that. Wouldn't that kind of dry up a little bit? I thought they had these. Now they have these. It's like a thin paper, like the paper you use at the bathroom to sit on the toilet, but it sucks up all the oil from your
Well,
pores and stuff like that.
The Stridex was
Hmm.
more like a uh,
Oh.
gauze thing, and it came in a jar,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm.
just
Already
reach in there,
wet.
and pull out one Stridex pad and wipe your face with it. Number one, it would clean all the oil off your face, but at the same time, when you wipe your skin with it, you can see all the dirt that was left behind, even if you had just got out of the shower.
Oh, that's
It
pretty dope.
pulled the dirt out of your pores.
Yeah.
And see,
Yeah.
I used Sea Breeze, and it's still out today. I mean, of course, I'm sure the formula has changed, but Sea Breeze is what I used for acne.
Mm.
But I never had, any problems where some people, where they scratched it and they have marks all on their skin. Nothing ever, it helped
Yeah,
me
well,
see. It was Sea Breeze for me.
now I didn't have acne that way to where I really have, scars from it. I was never one to pick at my pimples.
Right.
I was more one to, like I said, I use the Stridex and stuff like that to get the oil out of my skin, clean the dirt out of my pores and stuff like that. Plus I had really good vision back then. The only thing I would do is, I don't know, you guys know what blackheads are?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's basically nothing but dirt in your pore, so you just squeeze it and pop that core out, and you get that dirt out of that pore. So
You're not
yeah.
supposed to squeeze those edges. You're supposed to let them squeeze themselves.
No, I squeeze them and pop them out.
I know it's a lot of people that will want to do mine. Can I squeeze? Oh no, don't squeeze. It just hurts.
Oh no.
More.
Well, let me go here, Carol, and maybe I shouldn't be sharing this part, but that was one of the things I used to do with the young ladies I was seeing back in the day. I just lay back and lay my head in their lap, and they pick my blackheads.
Gotcha. Yeah, and
You
some
know,
people that love doing it.
So
Right.
on that note, it's Friday, y'all, and hopefully everybody enjoys the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend coming up. Hopefully everybody's going to do something fun this weekend. Of course, we are, because we're going to go hang out and celebrate Monica's birthday, as well as Pedro, because they're separate days, but they're only a day apart. So, we're still celebrating both of them at the same time. So we're going to have fun doing that. So on that note, again, like, subscribe, share, comment, set your notifications, follow, whatever it is on whatever platform you are, please do it all. It helps really add to the algorithm so we can get our messages and our information that we share out to more and more people. So on that note, I hope to see everyone this evening in the movie. And until then, we'll see you again on Monday morning. Everybody have a great weekend, and we out of here.